Here at CMD, we understand. You want speed. But no one's hauling cargo in a McLaren. Now, there's a new option. Introducing the CMD Tsunami. There's nothing else like it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Automation. So today we are building something a bit reminiscent of a GMC Syclone. Now, I was a bit torn between doing a Syclone or a Raptor, but I put it to a vote and you guys overwhelmingly decided the Syclone, which means the Raptor is going to get pushed to next season. It's not going to be abandoned, but we're just going to do it next season instead. Because I also think that would be a really fun build to do. So I don't want to abandon it, but we're just going to push it to next season. For the time being, though, my current issue is trying to settle on a body style. Because there was some interest in doing sort of maybe a modern version of it, but the only body in here that even is vaguely similar to a Syclone is this one from 1985. But I really don't see another option here. I mean, going further back, it just gets even older, but I mean, none of these are really gonna do the job either. So I guess this, and maybe we'll do a 95, maybe? I think that might work. Still a bit old of a body style for it, but whatever. I mean, I guess also it's technically a ute in the body editor, so but one thing about the Syclone is that it's not a utility truck. it's meant for the road. So I think that this ride height and what this thing looks like here will suit us well. I don't think aluminum would be the right choice for this, but I'm kind of tempted, just because we get our weight down a little bit. So I do think I want to do this body on frame. So we're gonna go with a ladder. The chassis will just be straight steel. I'm beginning to rethink the aluminum here. I just think that might be a bit overkill. But like, I don't know if I want steel. All right, we'll go steel. I might regret this. Front longitudinal, because we're gonna go all-wheel drive. Now the front suspension is where I am really questioning things. I guess we'll go double wishbone. And then I think we'll just do a semi-trailing in the rear. I think that'll be the best. I don't know, I've had decent success with double wishbone trailing. I mean, it's not like it's an unheard of combination, but it seems to work well. So we'll put it into practice here. All right, new project. What are we calling this thing? S10. No. If I start it with C, it starts to feel Mercedes. This isn't even the name of the car. Why am I stressing about this so much? All right, it's gonna be called the fucking Fast. All right, so we're gonna do a 90-degree V6. It doesn't matter if it fits front-wheel drive because we're not doing front-wheel drive. We're gonna do all-wheel drive. Yeah, there's a 4.5. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna go for dual overhead cams just because I'm gonna wanna get some RPMs out of this thing. All right, we're gonna go with cast iron like always. These are definitely going to get upgraded today. I don't always come back and upgrade them, but today, I have a feeling they're going to need it. It's going to be turboed, so I'm just going to drop the compression right off the bat. We'll give it intake VVT. Turbocharger, we'll switch it up to ball bearing. We'll come back and get all this stuff. We will do a... You know what? No. We're going to do DCOE today. And we'll start with the twin carb, and we'll see how that goes. We'll do performance. We'll run it on regular. Engine bay is full. I don't care. Out of sight, out of mind. Dual exhaust, high flow 3-way, none, and then straight throughout the back. Okay, where are we at peak? 314 horsepower. And the pistons and conrods only slightly want to kill themselves. Excellent. The crank seems to be doing absolutely fine the way it is. From the looks of it, we're gonna need to knock the RPM up a bit. So maybe we won't be having as much luck with that. Now, what's kind of interesting though is that I haven't tuned the turbo, and this engine is basically uncompressed. So this is gonna be a strong engine. All right, now since we have so much power already, I am going to not design it so that it just has turbo lag today. We're gonna keep this a little more sensible. So I'm gonna get the AR ratio down a little bit. It's gonna make things bad if we shrink this too much, but actually, you know what? That's not bad. 338. Okay, so we're still a bit under where I want to be, but we haven't really addressed anything. Okay, our fuel efficiency is at about 11.4. That's not wonderful, but I think we'll be okay. I don't want to shrink it. I don't want to lower the AR ratio too badly because I'm really trying to avoid just major turbo lag today. That always ends up being just the absolute disaster, so I really don't want to do that. All right, let's open up that exhaust and oh yeah. Look at that. This is good. We still haven't even added in the compression. Oh my. We can sit at 500, and that's honestly not a bad curve. And then I really did not want to go to lightweight forged on the pistons, but I don't see an option. And then we'll go to forged steel on the crank. And now the only thing complaining is the conrod. We can probably just knock that quality up ever so slightly and bring this down just a tad. Okay, I want to sit at 500. Okay, this feels like a pretty good spot. I really didn't want to do multi-point, but I want this thing to work, and I'm really liking just sitting at 500 horsepower. So we're going to go with this. I think everything else is golden. We might be able to get away with a little more on the exhaust. Let's play with this. Just the 501. I guess I'll take that. All right, so that is our engine then. Let's see how it sounds. I think that sounds pretty good. All right, on to the body. First off, it erased my name. This is going to be called the CMD Tsunami, and I'll probably throw together an SUV version of this before I close out automation. So we'll have the Tsunami, and then we'll have, what do I call the SUV version? I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, though, I think this is going to be our body style. I don't see any other variants of this that are catching my eye any more than this, so we will go with this one. All right, as for the paint, we're just gonna make this a nice black. I will go for a darker plastic though. I think that'll just make it look a little sleeker. Okay, on to fixtures. I don't think this is gonna take too long. I think this will be a pretty straightforward build, to be honest. You know what, that's not bad actually. I mean, it's not quite as aggressive as like a square headlight would be, but let's see what an indicator looks like on the side here. We'll go with that. I'm really concerned about how that's gonna look in anything other than black though. Right, that's not the best seam, but it works. Well, actually, I could go back to the square headlights now, or these without the, let's give this a go. Those headlight units are a little on the large side, but if we narrow them, not the best thing I've ever done, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know what? I forgot to actually go and take a look at what this morphing can do. Okay, that needs to be in. As for the cab, we'll just keep that nice and tiny, maybe box this up a little bit. Then we got a little bit of fender flaring we can work with. I think we should get those out. Okay, yeah, that's good. You know what, actually, let's go ahead and flip these. That'll get a much more menacing look to it when it's done. Ooh, that's not a bad look at all. Oh, these look cool. Those look like a tsunami too. I mean, as much as a wheel can look like a tsunami, it just kind of looks like it's got some wave going. Actually, it looks more like a hurricane, to be honest. Which one of these just scream tsunami to me? Yeah, those look kind of wave-like. And they fit the car a lot better than those other ones. Alright, so as far as the badge goes, unfortunately, we've been having a little bit of an issue getting these to export properly in Beam. So unfortunately, I can't do this as much as I would really like to. Hopefully we'll get that fixed soon. In that case, we will do that. But for today, we are just going to go ahead and do that with good old-fashioned letters. Alright, where are my letters at? Okay, we're going to do this with 2 C's and an M. We'll just call this an older style logo. Alright, these door handles, which I've been relying on way too much lately, but I just really like them. We could do like this. We could just call it blue instead of red. It's got that that little Syclone logo down there on the actual one. And I'm hoping for something. I just want something that screams like 90s sports truck on this. Alright, there we go. Admittedly, it is a little tricky to read. Like, it's not the kind of font you can just glance at and say, oh yeah, that says Tsunami. But to be fair, I don't think that you could read 90% of the fonts that were created in the 90s, so. Okay, for the rear, let's keep this just basic, you know, GM style. Let's put the same part on every car in the products family, which in this case might be something like this. I don't know, that looks even more uninspired than GM. That being said, what did it actually have? It had something just like that, basically. You know, and I guess I understand why, because just looking at it, it's so simple, but it just works. Like, why overcomplicate things, right? Unless you're me and you just thrive off overcomplicating everything. Maybe it could use some turn signals on the side a little more, apparently. Let's put one here. And then I still got to do the wipers, mirrors, and gas cap. I didn't forget. I know there's some of you thinking he's gonna forget that, but nope, I haven't forgotten it. Yet, there's still time. Oh, exhaust. Okay, that's something I did forget until just a second ago. I did see one request for just some side-mounted exhausts. I've personally never been a fan. It's just like, to me, I've just never liked them. Man, I've been really wanting to use these. They're so cool. I don't think today's the day, though. I don't think that that is the kind of exhaust that this car would have. But I'm gonna try and use those before the end of the season. They're just so cool. Those are our exhausts. Let's make them a little bigger. Let's see, we got door handles. I think the only thing left is mirrors, wipers, and then I guess I'll throw on an antenna. I'll do that right now. Oh, we need a trunk handle. So most of you know my absolute favorite trunk handle or tailgate handle or anything is this one right here, because you can go for this version of it and it's the perfect latch. Alright, also let's go ahead and do a third taillight. I love this new third taillight. And then let's do wipers, and then let's move on. Ooh, a turbo badge, hold on. Just put it over to the Tsunami. Which ones do I want to use today? I love these, but they always seem to have a little issue conforming. Ooh, it looks like they're gonna work great today though. I'm pretty sure that's it. Actually, I might add a little more grill down the bumper here. Okay, I think that's everything. I don't really want to add a spoiler to it, although it would be kind of funny. I'm pretty sure that is everything though. It's got side turn signals, it's got back turn signals, it's got the branding, the license plate, the trunk latch, the door handles, the antenna, wipers, mirrors, gas cap. It's got fog lights, third tail light. We did the rims even. I think that's everything. I hope that's everything. All right, let's move on. This is gonna be all-wheel drive, and we're gonna stay in line with the Syclone. We're gonna give it a 4-speed automatic. I think I'm gonna go with a go with that. Power distribution, I think we'll give it a little bit of rear bias. We'll do like 60-40. All right, we'll do radial sports compound. We'll go with alloys. We will do discs on the front and rear. We'll do no under tray. I'm probably gonna regret that. We'll do a standard interior with a standard cassette. We'll do hydraulic power steering, ABS, no traction control. This is gonna be fun. And we'll do advanced 90s safety. For springs, we'll go with standard. We'll go with gas monotube dampers and passive sway bars. Oh yeah, it's a muscle car. I imagine we're gonna have some issue with wheel spin. Not much actually. I think anywhere in the 25% range will be okay. I might be able to get away with this though, just by tightening up the strings. Strings? Why do I always say that? In order to get it up to anywhere near 1G, we're just riding the oversteer line all the way up. But it does kind of wheel itself back in. But I'm also very worried about this. Alright, so I'm not super happy with the tendency it looks like it's gonna have the oversteer, but overall, this is gonna be a fun car. I am excited to take this thing around the track. I guess the one last thing to do, and it's probably gonna affect the handling just a hair, but the offset. It's actually not too bad. The back one is worse than the front one. This might help with the oversteer, actually. Not much. But, there it is. There is the CMD Tsunami. This is gonna be a blast. 3,620 pounds, but it does also have 500.5 horsepower. This thing is gonna be a blast. All right, I'm gonna export this, and I'll see you guys over in Beam. Alright, so here we are in Beam, and I got both here. I said I was going to do an SUV version, so that's it over there. This is the Tsunami, as we know, and this, over here, is the Monsoon. Interestingly, though, they have the exact same engine, and the exact same chassis, same everything. The only difference between them was the body style, and this car was predicted to go 20 miles an hour faster, and I don't know why. Someone suggested to me that it might be aerodynamics, but it's just, that's a huge difference, and I don't think the tailgate's causing that much drag. It is possible, but I just found that interesting. So because of that, the Monsoon has slightly different gearing and a slightly different tire width. I'm curious to see the difference. But the engines are exactly the same. So I'm thinking we'll test both, and then you guys can go ahead, and I've never done this before, but I'm going to let you guys vote which one actually competes in the tournament. Because I don't think that it's fair to say interchangeable, because I have a feeling the Monsoon's going to be a little better. But we'll lap them both, we'll test them both, and then it's up to you guys to decide which one. Alright, so we'll start off with the Tsunami, though. And I'm excited. I haven't driven it yet, but I think it's going to be a blast. Let's just go for it. Launches real quick. Turbo looks like it could use a little bit of work, but man. All right, it leaves a little bit little bit the desired on the steering. Understeers just a little bit. And also, before I forget, this map is, I believe, called Summer Motorsport Park. I've used it before in the Accolade video, but I usually get asked what map it is, so I figure I'll just throw that out there. Let's see, it has a bit of a tendency to understeer. I'm not really seeing the oversteer that I thought was going to be an issue. Not much oversteer, if any. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that. Here, let's go left this time here. It definitely's got power, but it doesn't feel unmanageable. It doesn't feel like 500 horsepower, really. But okay, the understeer isn't great, but as long as you lift and just kind of manage it a little bit, it's not terrible. And I'm not having any trouble handling it at all. It's being very predictable. As far as cars with this much performance, or I guess I should say anything over like 400 horsepower this season, it's probably the best one as far as handling. The Fatale, I mean, it's got way more power, and it doesn't handle bad. It actually handles surprisingly predictable. But I wouldn't even compare their handling. This thing is so far beyond that. This actually feels like a car, not like a project gone wrong. Whoop, over that. Handled that pretty well. Oh, didn't realize we were gonna have such an intense corner, and we've dented it a little bit. Lost the mirror, remodeled the bed a little bit. Let's switch over to Monsoon. Let's see how this compares. All right, pretty similar off the line. Not noticing a major difference so far, but it does feel like it's getting a bit faster. Oh, okay, in the steering, that's a major difference. The Tsunami didn't do that. It still doesn't handle bad though. It's just, I just needed to take note of that so I can prepare for the fact that it oversteers a little more than the Tsunami, which surprisingly barely oversteers at all. If anything, its issue kind of is understeer. Yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't happen in the Tsunami. Let's see, let's take that other route to the left here. Okay, it does not handle nearly as well as the Tsunami. It's gotta be the weight distribution. This thing's got a lot more over the rear. The Tsunami barely has any. I mean, this car does not handle bad. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't handle badly. It's just not quite as reliable to drive around the track as the Tsunami is. It flops around just a little bit more, not to the point where you can't handle it, especially if you're anticipating it, but it's not the same. They're still both really fun cars though. And same thing again. Well, there they are, with both damaged left sides. Alright, so all in all, I think I prefer the Tsunami to the Monsoon. Both are good cars, the Tsunami feels a little bit more together. And with that assessment, let's take them to the track and see how they fare. So as of right now, the fastest car that's not a supercar to go around the track is the AJ Turbo with a 1:32. Behind that's the Palma with a 1:40, and ahead of it is the SLFE with a 1:21. There is a huge window there, and I'm very, very confident that the Tsunami is going to fit in that giant window. The question is it going to beat the AJ Turbo? I think that's the real question here. It's definitely going to beat the Palma, and it's not going to be as fast as the SLFE. So it's really going to be, will it knock the AJ Turbo down a slot, or will it slot in right behind it? I don't think it's going to be much slower. It's got way more power, and it handles great. So I really think that this is going to be a good lap time. But there is only one way to find out, so let's give it a lap. We're going to test both, so we're going to start with the Tsunami, and then we'll run Monsoon. But yeah, Tsunami's up first. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I have high hopes for this car, as I've said. This one I am confident with. Alright, let's just... That was not the fastest, but I don't think it lost too much time. This is, so far, this car feels so much better on the track than anything else except maybe the Palma. The Palma was great. The Monsoon's definitely going to beat it on the straights, I think. Just because it's got... Actually, maybe not. It's got a higher top speed, but the gearing is still a 4-speed, so it's probably not going to be able to use that higher top speed. And it's got the same amount of power, so it might actually be a little slower. That wasn't the best corner back there. Let's see if we can make up for it here. Yeah, that was much better. And don't mess up now cutting these too close. Alright, into the final corner. Brake, give us plenty of time to get in here at a good speed. little wide. Not exactly what I was going for. Actually, not a little wide. That was very wide, but I think this has been a good enough time that that's not going to make or break it. And stop. Whew. Alright, I'm not going to say the time yet, but, wow. Alright, so next up is the Monsoon. I think this is going to be a slower time. Between the handling and the longer gearing, I don't think it's going to be quite as strong, but I think it's going to be a strong time. So, I'm excited. Let's give it a go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I'm a little worried about how floppy this thing is around the corners. But, we'll find out exactly how it's gonna do. Yeah, this is just so much more floppy. The Tsunami just feels so refined, and this just feels like a fish just flopping around the track. It's completely different. Alright, nonetheless, I think we've made really good time so far. Let's, be a little careful here. That was not the best corner, but it will give us a decent line heading back into this next straight. Alright, I didn't do this corner super well in the Tsunami, and I really didn't position myself to do it great in the Monsoon. Oh, we're going off a little bit. That's fine. Down through this fast section, I think this thing is, I don't know, maybe it is picking up a little faster. I don't know. It definitely feels different. But let's see how this time is. And stop. Darn, that is close. Honestly, that's close enough to the point where that little deviation off the track back there could have actually affected how it performed against the Tsunami. Actually, it definitely did. It actually could have been almost the exact same time if it hadn't had that. But I'm gonna stop rambling about this and just tell you guys the time. First off, though, I need to go fling this off the cliff as always. Oh, there's my cliff over there. Or is this my cliff? This is my cliff. Okay, fling it off the cliff. I really thought we were gonna stick the landing there for a second. I don't know why. There we go. Are we still rolling? Oh yeah, look at that. That is some durability. That's that Central Motors reliability, right? Yep. And it just occurred to me, I've never actually said what CMD stands for. But yeah, CMD stands for Central Motor Division. And I haven't quite worked out how all of the Autopolitan lore works together with the brands, but CMD is one of the ones that owns a ton of stuff. Anyway, about the time. So, the AJ Turbo had a 1:32. The Monsoon came in with a 1 minute 26.47. Tsunami, on the other hand, came in with a 1 minute 25.16, which is why I'm saying that little bit of deviation off the road probably separated it from being a near identical time, as it already pretty much is. I think the Tsunami is a better car overall, but damn, are they close. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, the car will be available on the BeamNG repository this week. Both of them will be available, as is last week with the DM69. So if you want to go and check those out, the link will be in the description. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.